Hello and welcome to another installation of TechTalk. The TechTalk boys are back and we always have a great topic. I'm sure Mikey can enlighten us. What are we talking about today?
Absolutely. It's Friday again. When we were discussing today's topic, we made the decision that it would basically be a part two to the combo video. But today is all about bond, hence I think Josh's background. So we're going to be talking about different bond combos. So something I'm certainly very interested in as well, as per the original combos chat about the different grits and things like that, different shapes to use together and things like that. I suppose this is just backing that up a lot to see what sort of bonds you can play around with as well. I think Josh has gone to sleep or his video's frozen. It's not that boring, Josh.
The thing about combining bonds is that you get the best of both worlds, such as we've got very, very hard concrete, and it's hard because of the way it's been finished. So we could have concrete that's actually using a lot of coarse materials, but it's been heavily burnt. And on the outside, it looks like it's just a very, very hard, impermeable concrete. And we throw some, our typical choice in this situation might be, I'm going to grab myself a whole bunch of soft bond tools and I'm going to put them under there, a full set of singles, and we're just going to go and grind that back. What we can discover maybe an hour later is that we don't have any tools left, and the machine's been quite a fight to hang on to, but it's been very productive.
Isn't this something that you discover once you've bared down and got your donut, wouldn't you?
Hey, come on, listen to all the other tech talks before listening to this one, and that's what you'll come away with, is actually paying attention to what's going on under your machine. But bear with me for a second. So that soft bond tool is what's going to help us to cut through that cap, if you like, that burnt surface, which is very, very resistant to abrasion. And that's what's going to give us the productivity. But once we get past that layer, that surface, and the materials are quite coarse, then it really starts to eat away at our diamond tooling consumption. So you might go, all right, well, I'm going to throw on a set of hards because I just smoked a set of tools in an hour. And then you're not going to get anywhere because they're not getting through that surface, that really dense burnt surface. Mm-hmm. So what you could consider doing is borrowing a bit of each. So you run a half set of soft with a half set of hards, run them under the machine on the same plate, and now you've got a combination of tools, the soft, which actually helps to really cut through the cap, and then you've got the hard that sits in there, and it's actually helping to reduce the wear on that soft tool because, of course, they have to wear at the same height. And so that's the logic behind that. And there's so many different combos that you can run for different types of surfaces and textures to help complement each other.
And that's just really getting back to doing that one single initial pass, not having to go back for a second pass.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So would you say, let's say we're going what you said, soft and hards together, but let's say we choose doubles with one particular bond and singles with the other. Should we choose the harder bond as a double or a single versus the soft as in either?
Depends on why you're choosing the doubles versus the singles. Mm-hmm. Because remember, I'm rarely going to recommend a double.
Not a fan of a double. Unless he's getting after it.
That's right. Go the double scoop. Okay, so it depends. It's probably, Daniel, it is most likely going to be the hard that's going to be the double in that situation. I'm assuming that you're selecting the hard to reduce the pressure on the machine because you're trying to get the weight right and you're trying to reduce wear. So there's probably going to be a double in there, and you're going to use that soft to create the abrasion for the tool to cut into. Yep. And then, of course, that abrasion, this goes back to our previous combo talk, that abrasion that's been created by the softer bond, that tool that can wear better and can resist heat better, it's going to create abrasion in the surface for that harder bond to then chase, but it's going to cut without wearing so much.
Yeah, nice.
So it's likely going to be the double rather than the single, because otherwise you're going to have doubles that are softer and they're supposed to create the abrasion, but they've got less chance of doing it because they have less pinpoint pressure. And then you're trying to reduce the wear with a single. You know, it's kind of a fight against. You probably get better efficiency out of the single soft and better wear capacity out of the double hard.
Nice.
I think an important side note too, just to put my Hayden hat on for a minute. I suppose in these sort of situations, it's important to have a machine that's working at its optimum performance and in good condition, and also good power coming in as well. I can imagine all those boxes need to be ticked before you start looking at really powering through and doing these sorts of things.
Yeah.
I'm definitely talking best case scenario, and best case scenario is that you've got a big block, which means that you got tons and tons of power to play with. So it opens up a world of combinations, but you got tons of torque available.
It's about just looking at those drives again and seeing what kind of performance you're getting, when you're trying to break through the cap. And then once you get through the cap, are you dropping down in power? So are you losing productivity? So that way you can gauge whether you're going to use a double in the harder one, or you might opt for a single segment as well. So informed and looking what's coming out of the back of the machine, but also looking at those drives will give you better feedback than just a bit of guesswork.
Well, I guess also, Milan, you've been the HTC guru in because you've had the experience on the tools and obviously the luxury of using Works Plus products in the past. The question I have, we're talking about mixed bond combos. You would have had to play around with trying to get more performance, because now we're distributing the weight over foreheads and we want to get that productivity. I know you're a big fan of the combos. Can you sort of elaborate a little bit on that? Because I'd be also interested to know, I jump a little bit ahead as well, is GRT combos, soft and medium together and stuff like that. So hit me up.
Our previous Tech Talks, when we were talking about combos, I mentioned that one of my favorite combos to run on the forehead machine was the soft single rocks and then double zigzag in medium bond. And the reason I did that was the double zigzags would slow the wear down, but also provide good combination of abrasion along with the soft. So being a double segment zigzag, my footprint was equivalent to maybe a soft single rocks. So having the double just slowed the wear down, because having a full set of the rocks wasn't as productive as having a zigzag with all those leading edges ripping into the concrete. So I figured that was one of the best combos to use. And actually, Josh put me onto that combo back in the day. So it's a good combo. So yeah, working out head pressure and pinpoints and all that sort of stuff becomes really important when trying to, when you've got an extra head in there. And also I didn't have the luxury of dual drives, left, right. It was just turn on and that's the way your machine is spinning. So I had to get a little bit creative with those bonds to try and be the most aggressive as I could, try and push that machine till, almost that overload light starts blinking at me all the time. So I know I'm productive.
Nice. You're so aggressive.
Yeah.
And just in case this conversation wasn't complex enough, Milan, you went through shapes in there as well, and how shapes actually have an effect on diamond tooling wear and productivity. So three things in there. We've got our bond, we've got our grit, and we've got our shapes, and these all need to be considered when mixing up this recipe for success.
Yeah, absolutely. So throw the spanner in the works there, but had to be done.
What about the GRT combos? Soft, mediums, hards. I want to know about that, because I know Ryan, for example, from Concrete Hire up in WA or across to WA, he's a massive fan of mixing that sort of stuff up, and he does some really cool combos that are mega productive from what I've seen on site. So
I must say, I'm a bit the opposite. I've really only seen sort of the double, triple combo in the same bond. So yeah, be interested to hear what your guys' take is on that for sure.
To give you a bit of background, I ever only ran soft GRTs, and it was always the double, triple combo. One, if it's working really fast or I feel like it's a bit aggressive, that means I just go faster forward. So I really didn't play around too much with my GRT bond. So I really don't have much input in this conversation, but
so aggressive.
You like aggressive and fast. I like it.
It's so aggressive.
I like what Milan said there. I really didn't play around.
I just imagine Milan just going for it, just with his headphones on with be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive. We're recording.
Are you there to grind floors? Or are you there to tickle floors? What are you going to do?
Oh, you're so aggressive.
Tickle out this aggregate.
I need to come down from all this aggression. Josh, take over.
No more coffee for you.
Combination comes down to pretty much the same thing, and it does actually fall under Milan's banner of productivity. Say, for instance, you've got a set of softs, GRTs on the slab, and you're just having a difficulty balancing the wear of the, not so much the wear of the tool, but the wear of the surface while you're trying to grout. And you need to be able to spend a little bit more time on top. But going to a full set of mediums is going to go too slow, or it's going to be too hard, and therefore it's going to leave dark marks and that sort of stuff on the surface because the tool itself is not wearing and therefore not working. So we'd use the combination there for the same purpose. We would use the mediums combined with the soft, and the medium would basically allow us more working time on the surface. Say, for instance, it's a very, very soft slab and it takes in a lot of moisture, and it needs a lot of grouting, lots of holes to be filled, and you only want to do it in one pass. And that means that you're going to need to be able to generate dust mixing with all the grout without really getting into the material too much. So typically a floor that's taking in a lot of moisture as well, we want to see a damp floor coming out the back. And you've got a floor that just takes in tons of moisture, takes in a lot of grout. So often these floors require spending more time on the surface, just spinning the tool to dry things out and not leave a slurry out the back. So throwing in a medium in there would just give you a bit more time to dance on the surface there without actually getting into the surface and leaving any grinding marks. So again, we're using this in this particular scenario to buy us more time, whereas Milan was talking before that he never did this because he just plowed on through. Different operators appreciate different types of, have a different style, a different working speed. This also might be really relevant in an existing structure. So we're doing small rooms and we can't avoid spending time on the slab because we need to maneuver the machine around. And whenever we maneuver the machine around, we're going back onto surface that's got a small amount of grout or has already been grouted. We don't want to open it back up again. So this just gives, again, a bit more dance time that we can move the machine around without actually biting into the material. So just substituting that medium in there to complement the softs there.
Nice.
You'll find all that out on your sample anyway.
Yeah. So Josh, I got one last question for you. So what's the actual grouting dance look like? In America, they have all these cool dances and stuff, you know, like these cowboy dances, like.
Yeah, we're actually, we're starting a show, and this is probably a good segue into our new segment, Daniel, our new channel that's coming out shortly on Channel 9. So you think you can grout?
I thought it was going to be grouting with the stars.
Really with the stars.
Hey, I can hear something going on. I just heard the bartender say, "Do you want that mixed or shake?"
Shaken or stirred, actually.
Man, tell that bartender they got their wires crossed. That's terrible.
A martini, eh?
I don't know how they like it up.
All the bonds.
I don't know how they like it up in Perth or down in Sydney, but damn.
Speaking of cocktails, it's Friday, guys. It's been a big week. Everyone's been working hard. People calling me while they were doing a wrap, you know, while I'm trying to get out of here.
I've told you several times too, Josh, beer isn't a cocktail, man. I always wonder why you've got spilt beer down the front of you. It's because you're shaking it up. All right, guys, good one.
Well, fellas, I'm going to have myself a martini, shaken, not stirred.
That's it. We got the Daniel clap.
Thanks, Liam. We love you.